In honor of our next guest, I'm wearing my fire red shirt, as you can see on the video. And if you're listening on the radio, be sure to visit us at intotomorrow.com, because our next guest is with a leading manufacturer of fire and life safety equipment. Always an absolute delight, and you'll know why if you haven't already known, why we love to have fire safety educator with Kidde, Sharon Cooksey, on the program. Sharon, thanks so much for coming on again. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, how could I not be? I am on Into Tomorrow, and I love this program so much. Number one fan.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And I tell you what, we are loving new products from Kidde, the Smoke and Carbon Monoxide Alarm with smart features. You see, I'm even holding it up smartly so folks can see that we got what we understand to be one of the very first ones off the product line, and boy, are we proud of it. Already protecting us here at our Into Tomorrow studios in Miami. Where are you joining us from, by the way?
I am joining you from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Speaking of cool, you probably have some cooler weather. We actually have a cold front in South Florida. It got into like the 50s. We were freezing here.
I mean, you suffer so.
Yes.
I don't know how you're taking. We had snow last week and over the weekend.
Goodness.
So yeah, it's crazy. But anyway.
Yes. Anyway,
we enjoy the cool snap.
Right, for sure. So much for the weather report. But now we need to get into the things that you do so well, and that is talking about fire safety and about life safety issues and equipment available and all that sort of thing. One of the coolest things I like about having you on is that you don't just push what Kidde is doing. You help us with the kinds of things that we all need to be aware of and all need to make sure that we're protecting ourselves and our families. And you have some of the most incredible and scary, in some cases, statistics that you often share with us. So tell me where we're headed these days. What is jumping out at you currently?
Well, I'm sure that you've heard or read about the fires that happened in the Northeast Corridor, right? In Philadelphia and New York. And unfortunately, we're seeing an increase in home fires. And this is a real change because up until like 2020, home fire incidents were actually dropping. They were on the decline. So this is a bit of a change. So we're super happy to be here and to share some fire tips. It's a really great time for us just to return to the basics, to know what we need and to know what we need to do in case of, an emergency or a fire incident, right? We don't want you to think you know. We want you to know that you know. Oh, no,
that's a very good point. And of course, back to being here in South Florida, because we're not used to the cold, when we do get a little cold snap like the one we're dealing with currently, the issue becomes space heaters causing problems, because folks are digging it out of the closet and it's dusty, and then they plug it in and try to warm the house, or worse, they try to just open the oven or do things that should not be done anyway to try to warm the house down, because we all deal with air conditioning. We don't rarely ever turn on a heater. So I imagine that is one of those contributing factors to fires, certainly in an area that's not used to trying to keep the house warm.
Exactly. And such a great point. Yeah, in Florida, in the warmer climates, and, up north as well, space heaters are a situation. They are a real fire safety hazard. In fact, did you know that space heating is the number 2 leading cause of home fires?
Yikes.
It really is. And it causes about 45,000 home fires annually, space heaters.
Wow.
So they're such a convenience. I have them in my house. They're a real convenience, but I really want everyone to think about space heaters as a portable fire, because that's what it is. And I want you to take precautions with your space heaters the way that you would a live fire. So if I could just kind of walk through a few tips on what to do when you're selecting a space heater, that would be great. So and I went through this. I'm speaking from experience, and of course, I come from a heightened safety mind, right? But here's what I looked for. Number one, to make sure that your space heater has a tip over feature. And this is super important, especially if you have pets or children in the house. If that space heater tips over, we want it to immediately turn off. Immediately.
Yeah.
Number two, look for a space heater that has a cool touch feature, right? So again, we don't want it to be hot on the outside. We want it to be cool to the touch. And this is really important if you have young ones in the house. It really is, because oftentimes young ones and pets haven't learned to be afraid of heat yet. So we want you to have that cool touch. We want you to make sure that it is UL or ETL or Intertech certified. That is very, very important. And buy it from a reputable dealer. Make sure that you know that this thing has been thoroughly tested and vetted, it's certified to work, and that it comes from a place where you know that it's the genuine product. And then here's one that a lot of people don't know, is that when you're buying a heater, you really want to look for one with a really long cord. And so Consumer Reports, who I really respect, they recommend at least a 70-inch electric cord on a space heater. And the reason for that is because you need a really great distance from anything flammable to that space heater. So we see time and time and time again, it's too close to drapery, it's too close to bed, it's too close to a sofa, it's too close to something that's flammable, and it catches those flammables on fire. So 3 feet, safe distance around any space heater. We just really want everybody to take the same precaution that you would with a live fire with that space heater.
Wow. And I like the fact that you call it a portable fire, because you have to think of it that way. And then you've got to take all the precautions that you've mentioned, because maybe you think, well, it's obvious. Yeah, of course they'll put it near drapes or something. Yeah, but then the other elements that you have to be concerned about too. And that's just one of many of the kinds of tips that you provide on a regular basis. I do want to make sure we have time, though, to talk about the newest product, the Smoke and Carbon Monoxide Alarm with smart features. I mean, this is truly a smart home device, a smart device that can save our families' lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are so excited about this product. And so here's what we know is that there's a really large piece of the population that has interconnected alarms that are run by hardwire. And by hardwire interconnect, I mean a red wire. So if there's a red wire in your home that runs from alarm to alarm, that's your interconnection wire. That's your wire that was pre-installed by the electrician that helps your alarms talk to each other. So what interconnected alarms do is what I just said, they talk to each other. And it's really beneficial because in today's environment, you have as little as 2 minutes to get out of a burning building, as little as 2 minutes, because we really want you to get out of that smoke. We want you to get out of that smoke very, very, very quickly. And so the interconnected alarms, when one rings or when one senses a hazard in the home, it immediately sends that signal to the rest of its buddies on the line, and they all go off at the same time, right? It's like a collective, if you want to look at it.
A collective.
It's like the board.
Yes, and in this case, it's a very handy thing to have this collective.
It is. It's a life-saving. It really can be. Everybody that has a stake in fire safety really strongly recommends interconnected alarms. But so with this new smart or smoke and CO with smart features, this helps to add to that hardwired interconnected system some smart control. So we know that there are a lot of homes out there that have this red wire interconnect with Kidde alarms on it that don't really have any smart control. And this product is the answer. So this product talks to those existing Kidde alarms that are interconnected by hardwire, and it helps to create a bridge, if you will, to the Wi-Fi, to to mobile notifications, to things like that. That helps you just get more sense of control and confidence over what's happening in your home. So, it's just a really good solution. Like, say you have Kidde alarms in your house and they're still within their useful life. Useful life is 10 years. I want to really press that point in, because at 10 years, everybody needs to change their smoke alarms. But, if you're like in a home like mine that doesn't have, that kind of a smart home tech inside of it everywhere, and you want some of that control, this is great. All you have to do is install one alarm. It talks to the rest of the alarms, and it'll send you mobile notifications to your Kidde app.
So this new system then is both Wi-Fi connectivity and has an app, so that you can get not only notifications, but I'm assuming you can customize your alarm somehow, or you can utilize it in whatever fashion is appropriate for your house?
Exactly. That's exactly it. So we have a Kidde app, and here's the other great news about this. It also talks to Alexa, and it also talks to the Google Assistant. So it's really designed to give you that, just easy access, and again, that confidence. So here's another thing that I personally love, because I know, I've talked about my mom on here a lot.
Yeah.
Is she lives by herself, and she would kill me if I revealed her age, but it's over 75. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Mom, don't kill me.
Yeah,
So,
we love you, Mom.
So she lives by herself, and I worry. And so this new alarm with the app will actually send notifications to friends and family if something were to go wrong.
Oh.
So this alarm senses smoke and CO. So if, say, something were to happen in her home where CO is off put, and let's say she passed out, which is a common thing that happens in the presence of CO, right? That you might lose consciousness. So, and I couldn't get in touch with her. It would, the minute that the alarm sensed the carbon monoxide, and I'm set up as a friend or family, I'd have to really beg her for that. But if she gave me access to it, it would send me a notification right away.
Wow.
So it's really great for an application like that, where you might have a senior in your network who is living alone, or maybe even is, has someone else in the house, but you really check up on them frequently.
Sure.
This gives you that kind of access, that kind of internal insider view as well. Lets you know if something's going on.
Well, and even if there's not an elderly person that is a point of concern, you may still want someone else in the family outside of the house to know that there might be an issue at your house, and somebody, help me out, look into it, whatever.
That's right, 100%. And you know what? I have a pup who may have appeared behind me as I've been talking, but, I leave the house and he's here. And believe it or not, pets start fires every year. They start 1,000 fires. And unfortunately, about 500,000 of them, pets, are impacted by home fires.
Wow.
So when I leave the house, I really struggle with, confidence that he's okay. So especially if I'm a distance away. But with this new system, with this new smoke and CO alarm with smart features and the new Kidde app, I feel better about it, because I know I'm going to get an instant notification on my phone if something were to go wrong. And I could call a neighbor or someone to go get him, to take care of him. That's true.
Now, is it available currently for the public? And if so, where and how much?
It sure is. It is exclusively at the Home Depot. We're very proud to partner with the Home Depot on this initiative and this new product launch. It's available on their .com, on the homedepot.com, and it is also available in select stores across the U.S. And I think it's a really affordable, it's really an easy reach from a wallet perspective. It's only $89.97.
Wow, good. So for less than $100, you've got that peace of mind. And will the product work as a standalone? Let's say you can't quite afford to do the whole house, but you want to at least get one started. Will it work by itself?
Yes. It absolutely will function by itself. So that's one of and thank you for this great question. That's one of the wonderful things about this alarm. not only is it a standalone alarm, but it will also connect to existing Kidde interconnected by hardwire alarms, and give you even more control over your safety.
Great. So that backward compatibility can make a big difference too if you've got hopefully other Kidde alarms. And I think it's also important what you mentioned earlier too, to remind all of our audience watching and listening, if your fire alarms, your smoke detectors, whatever, are over 10 years old, get rid of them. Your life, your family's life is worth a lot more than that, and replace them preferably with these new devices because they are available, they are smart, they do some really cool things. The fact that we've got a smart smoke and carbon monoxide alarm with smart features that can also talk to our smart speakers is even more interesting, and really carries through how important it is for that interconnectivity and the ability to communicate should there be an emergency.
That's 100% correct. And I just want to add one other thing, if I can.
Please.
If we could talk about CO for just 1 second. So there's a common myth, it's a myth, that CO collects at the floor or that it's heavier than air, and it is not. So I'm going to say it one more time. CO weighs essentially the same as air. So we've gotten a lot of questions about putting a CO alarm on the ceiling. And that's absolutely fine because CO essentially weighs the same as air, which means wherever air is, it can be there as well. So in the winter, especially, forced air rises because hot air rises. So it can take that CO with it as it rises up. So it is absolutely fine to have a CO alarm on the ceiling. You can install a CO alarm anywhere from 5 inches from the floor to the ceiling. So I just wanted to mention that too.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out because that is important. And I think it's very important that folks realize that carbon monoxide can be a problem in any home. It's not just a matter of, let's say you lost power after a storm and you've cranked up a little portable generator. That, of course, is going to produce some CO. You don't want that carbon monoxide in your house, and you want to keep it away from any open windows and so forth. But there are other things that can cause us a problem with CO, are there not?
Oh, yes, a ton. And thank you for mentioning generators. Please, if you take anything away from me talking, it is never, ever bring a generator indoors.
Oh,
ever,
gosh, no.
Yeah. Never. It's a big no, and people do it over and over, and I'm just begging people to leave them outside, not even in an attached garage. If you're worried about the security of it, do something else. Just don't bring it indoors. But other appliances in the home that can offset CO is really anything that's not powered by electricity in a nutshell. So,
wow.
Your natural gas range or cooktop, your furnace that's powered by heating oil, or a space heater that's kerosene, or wood burning fireplace, gas logs. The list is endless. So if you have natural gas, propane, kerosene, gasoline, wood, charcoal, your outdoor grill actually puts off CO.
Whoa.
So it's really everywhere. It's a naturally occurring gas, right? So but it sneaks up on you, because you can't see it, taste it, or smell it. So that's why we strongly recommend that you have working CO alarms throughout your home.
Wow. So not only smoke, which is always a concern, of course, you want to detect any fire, but carbon monoxide detection as well. So do check out the cool new products at hopefully a Home Depot nearby you or at Kidde.com. It's Kidde. I know it looks like Kidde, right? But it's Kidde, German company, right, originally?
That's Walter Kidde. Yes, he was our founder in 1917, and that's how he pronounced his name. So you got it right. It's Kidde. And if you want to get information on this smart alarm, it's Kidde, Kidde.com/smart. That'll take you right to the page.
Well, that's very smart of you to do that. So Kidde.com/smart will get you right to this new system that you certainly want to look into and protect your family, save your life and theirs by all means. Sharon, no wonder you're the fire safety educator with Kidde, because you are not only a delight to talk with, but always have some great tips. We always look forward to getting you back on the show. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us this time.
Thank you for letting me be here. Always my pleasure. Thank you.
It is our pleasure. It's a mutual admiration society. Kidde.com/smart. Love the heart as well. So by all means, we'll get you there too. Visit us at intotomorrow.com. I'm Dave Graveline. Stay tuned. There's much more to come right here on the Advanced Media Network.